You're now watching the production of the famous Czech buses Karosa, also known as Irisbus, at the Czech factory in Vysoké Mýto. Karosa, now Iveco Czech Republic, developed from a small coach-building workshop into a state-run monopoly, and later into a modern, global, export-focused manufacturer. Located about 150 kilometers east of Prague, the plant occupies a total site area of approximately 355,000 square meters, making it one of Europe's largest bus manufacturing sites. The buses are exported to countries such as France, Germany, Italy, Russia, as well as other EU and overseas markets. The factory remains the largest bus production plant in Central Europe. Exports increased from just a few hundred buses in the 1990s to over 5,500 units by 2023, making up more than 90% of total production. The Crossway series, introduced in the 2000s, has become the company's most successful export model. Today, the factory in Vysoké Mýto is one of the largest bus production facilities in Europe, with strong international sales and a major role in exports. Since 2017, the factory has consistently produced over 4,000 buses per year, with capacity reaching up to 5,000 vehicles annually. Employs around 3,800 to 4,400 people directly, supported by 1,700 subcontractor positions in the region. Generates substantial export revenue, contributing significantly to the Czech Republic's industrial economy. In 2024, the plant held a 42% market share in the Czech bus industry. Vysoké Mýto is still the main factory for IVECO Bus, producing vehicles for its global lineup. The site plays a key role in the company's move toward cleaner technologies, including the development and testing of electric, hydrogen, and CNG-powered buses. It has a long industrial history, starting with handmade coach building under Sodomka, continuing as a state-run company during the Karosa era, then transitioning through privatization with the 900 series, and now operating as part of a global leader, IVECO Bus. Between 1980 and 1990, Karosa was the dominant bus manufacturer in Czechoslovakia, operating as a state-owned enterprise during the socialist era. This decade marked the peak of the Karosa 700 series, which became the backbone of public and intercity transportation across the country and throughout the Eastern Bloc. In 1993, after the fall of communism, Karosa was privatized and formed a strategic partnership with Renault. In 1999, Renault and Iveco merged their bus divisions to create a new joint venture called Irisbus. Karosa became part of this new company. From then on, new buses started using the Irisbus brand, although the Karosa name was still used for a few years. By 2003, Iveco had bought out Renault's share in Irisbus, making Karosa fully owned by Iveco and operating entirely under the Irisbus name. In 2007, the Karosa name was officially dropped, and the company was renamed Iveco Czech Republic. All buses were now branded as Irisbus models, like the Irisbus Crossway. Finally, in 2013, Iveco discontinued the Irisbus brand and brought all models under the unified name IVECO BUS. Since the 1950s, the factory has used a modular assembly method. The upper and lower halves of the bus body are assembled separately, then joined together using pneumatic clamps. Overhead cranes are used to install the interior frames and structural skeletons. In the 1980s, production peaked at 3,400 buses per year. After 1989, output declined to around 1,000 units per year. However, investments from Renault helped modernize the plant and revive production processes. Today, the factory is operated by IVECO BUS and produces around 3,100 buses per year. Its main models include the Crossway, Urban Way, and Iveco. Since 2006, the Crossway model has been produced at the Vysoké Mýto plant. It has become the most successful intercity bus from there, with more than 50,000 sold by 2022. Today, this factory stands as one of the largest and most advanced bus manufacturing facilities in Europe, with an impressive production capacity of up to 5,000 vehicles per year. It provides direct employment to more than 4,400 people, with many additional jobs supported through an extensive network of local suppliers and subcontractors. Right now, the Vysoké Mýto plant is a truly global operation. Around 90% of its production is exported to more than 25 countries, spanning Europe, Asia, and Africa. In 2025, the Iveco Bus plant in Vysoké Mýto took another major step forward with the inauguration of a new prototype and testing center, covering an area of approximately 4,100 square meters. In March 2022, the Iveco Bus plant in Vysoké Mýto proudly celebrated the production of its 150,000th bus, marking another remarkable achievement in the facility's long and storied history. You are now watching the final part of the production process, the water resistance testing of the bus interior. On the domestic Czech market, Iveco Bus holds around 45% market share. The factory includes testing facilities such as a thermal chamber with temperatures up to plus 50 degrees Celsius, equipment for measuring noise, vibration, and energy consumption, and platforms for rooftop access to vehicles. Here is how the production of buses by the manufacturer Neoplan begins. The first phase is welding the bodywork in this welding shop. A monocoque, or integral, self-supporting bus body, means the body structure itself carries the load, or shares load, rather than relying heavily on a separate heavy chassis frame. Welding is crucial to build the skeleton and skin into one strong, rigid structure. Neoplan Bus is a German manufacturer of buses, coaches, and trolleybuses with a reputation for luxury, innovation, and high-end engineering. It's been a subsidiary of a MAN Truck and Bus since 2001. The product range includes intercity coaches, airport apron buses, special purpose buses, luxury tour coaches, and trolley buses. Some Neoplan models are equipped with independent front and rear suspension systems, providing passengers with a smoother and more comfortable ride, as well as improved handling for drivers. From many global bus manufacturers, especially those with lower production costs or those offering new energy buses, this pressures pricing and margins. Neoplan is known for its advanced design and modern manufacturing techniques. One of the company's key innovations is the use of monocoque, or self-supporting body designs, which make the buses lighter and stronger by reducing the need for heavy chassis frames. You're now seeing the bus body welding process for MAN buses. Right now, you're watching frame welding process. They first build the structural skeleton of the bus body. This involves welding together large steel profiles or tubular frame elements, like roof frame, side frames, pillars, cross members. After frame is done, sheet metal panels are attached. Spot welding or seam welding are common for these attachments. The facility uses jigs to hold frame elements in precise alignment during welding. The laser measurement after welding indicates that alignment is critical. Any warping or distortions are probably corrected before proceeding. Weld quality is checked via visual inspection, possibly non-destructive testing, for example, ultrasonic or penetrant where needed, especially on critical welds like structural joints, load-bearing parts, and roof pillars. The factory is located in Akyurt, Ankara. The site covers about 317,000 square meters in total. It is the largest bus production center for MAN globally. The factory employs around 1,800 skilled workers and boasts an annual production capacity of up to 2,000 buses. While the facility has the capability to operate at full capacity, typical yearly output ranges between 1,500 and 1,800 units. All Neoplan coach production, which is premium segment, is consolidated to this Ankara plant. This plant plays a key role in MAN's global operations, combining advanced engineering with high standards of quality and efficiency in bus manufacturing. The factory exports to 41 countries. A large proportion of production is exported, often cited as 85%. The Ankara plant is fairly integrated. From structuring, skeleton, manufacturing of components, including electrical parts, body, painting, coating, assembly, testing. You are currently watching the manual installation of windows into the bus frame. This task is usually carried out by 2 to 3 workers. Incoming glazing units, single or double glazed panes, bonded frames, gasket sets, are checked for part numbers, glass condition, and protective films are left on until install. Where windows are bonded, the chromate in the bond line is prepared to ensure adhesion, cleaning, primer application, and in some cases abrasion of the primer layer as required by the adhesive supplier. It is now possible to start the buses and move them to quality inspection and finishing work. In 2023, MAN nearly tripled the number of electric city buses sold compared to 2022, from 263 to 771 units. So the factory, supply chain, and assembly processes must be capable of scaling up for battery packs, electrical drives, charging infrastructure. MAN has made public targets, such as half of new city buses to be electric by 2025, aiming for up to 90% of buses in Europe with battery electric drive by 2030. This drives changes in manufacturing, battery integration, weight management, and thermal systems. While buses are a smaller slice of MAN's overall production compared to trucks or vans, MAN is pushing to improve profitability and scale in the bus division. The bus segment sees more variability due to public tenders, regulations, emission standards, and infrastructure needs. There is also a research and development center in Ankara, established around 2012, covering design, testing, analysis. The plant is preparing to produce electric buses. One model, the Lions Coach bus, is planned to be built from 2025. MAN is converting more of its production in the city and intercity bus segments to electric vehicles in Ankara. It serves not just as a production facility, but as a center of competence for MAN's bus development, combining design, test, modification, premium coach production. Relocating premium brand production and consolidating operations here reflects both cost efficiency, lower production costs than in Germany, and trust in the Turkish supply chain. The body shop is the first major stage of bus assembly. It transforms steel profiles and sheets into a complete, self-supporting structure. This structure must be light, rigid, corrosion-resistant, and safe. Steel tubes, laser-cut panels, and formed profiles are delivered from suppliers or cut in-house. MAN uses high-strength, corrosion-resistant steel and occasionally aluminum for roof and side frames. Components are labeled and kitted for each bus variant. Custom lengths, window layouts, door configurations. The modules are positioned in large jigs or assembly fixtures that align them to within millimeter tolerances. Workers, and robotic arms in some stations, weld the modules together using MIG welding techniques. MIG welding stands for Metal Inert Gas Welding. It's a common type of arc welding where a wire electrode is continuously fed through a welding gun and melts to form the weld. A shielding gas flows around the wire to protect the weld area from contamination by air. For high-volume parts, like the Lion City, semi-automatic robotic welding ensures consistent quality. Critical load-bearing joints are done manually by certified welders for precision. In the Ankara factory, man uses laser measurement systems after welding to check the accuracy of the entire shell before it moves to the paint and assembly lines. Once the body shell is complete, openings for windows, doors, and service hatches are cut and reinforced. Mounting points for axles, engines, air tanks, and suspension are welded or bolted to the underframe. Brackets for wiring harnesses and air ducts are installed early to ease later assembly. Before painting, the welded shell undergoes a laser scanning check to ensure correct dimensions. Tolerances are extremely tight, as later stages, glazing, sealing, interior fitting, depend on perfect alignment. Defects like distortions, cracks, or incomplete welds are corrected on site. After welding and inspection, the raw metal body must be fully protected from corrosion. The shell is cleaned of welding residues, oil, and metal dust. It is then sent through a series of baths to remove impurities and apply protective coatings. MAN's Ankara and Starokowice plants use fully automated cathodic electrocoating. The entire bus body is immersed in a large electrically charged bath of primer paint. This ensures uniform coverage even inside welded joints, seams, and tubes, critical for corrosion resistance. The coating thickness is checked afterward by measurement sensors. The Ankara plant's CDP line is one of the most advanced in Europe, installed when MAN relocated Neoplan production from Germany in 2015. It gives up to 12 to 15 years corrosion protection. It has a cathode electrocoating unit for corrosion protection. It is stated to be one of the most advanced among MAN's sites. In MAN's bus manufacturing plants, the body in white undergoes a critical surface treatment step where it is fully immersed in a large anti-corrosion tank. This dip coating process, often part of cathodic electrocoating, e-coating, ensures that the entire metal body, including hard-to-reach areas, is uniformly protected against rust and corrosion. After cleaning, the body in white is moved, usually by an overhead conveyor, into a large tank for e-coating, also called electrophoretic or cathodic dip coating. The entire bus body is completely dipped into the tank. The tank is filled with a water-based epoxy coating that protects against corrosion. After the anti-corrosion dip process, the bus body in white continues through several key manufacturing stages. All joints, seams, and panel gaps are sealed manually or with automated applicators to prevent water ingress and improve insulation. The surface is prepared for painting to ensure good adhesion and a smooth finish. Now begins the next important phase of the production process. Wiring installation takes several days, and hundreds of kilometers of cables must be connected. MAN, a major European bus manufacturer, faces strong competition across various segments of the European bus market, from city and intercity buses to electric and coach models. The European bus industry is rapidly evolving, particularly with the rise of electric and zero-emission vehicles. reshaping traditional rankings. The biggest competitor to MAN in Europe is Mercedes-Benz, part of Daimler Buses. Mercedes-Benz has a strong presence in both traditional diesel buses and newer electric models. With more than 20% market share, it remains the largest bus manufacturer in Europe. Volvo Buses, based in Sweden, is another major competitor. Volvo holds around 12% of the European bus market. At the MAN Turkey factory, the research and development activities focus on several key areas to support MAN's global bus and commercial vehicle production. At the MAN Turkey factory, significant efforts are dedicated to optimizing production methods across key stages such as welding, painting, and assembly. By refining these processes, the factory enhances both efficiency and product quality. A major focus is the introduction of automation and robotic technologies, which not only speed up production, but also ensure consistent precision and reduce human error. MAN continues to be a strong and established brand in the European bus market. However, it faces intense competition, especially as the industry shifts toward electric and zero-emission vehicles. While Mercedes-Benz remains the overall market leader, companies like Solaris, VDL, BYD, and Yutong are growing quickly in the electric segment. Now the finished body is transported by truck to the next part of the factory, where it is joined with the engine. The entire manufacturing process is like a huge puzzle, where individual parts are gradually assembled into larger and larger sections until the final bus is created.